Yo, what's up guys? My name is Fox and welcome to another one of my videos. Today I'm gonna go over hotbars, right? Because people have been asking me about my hotbar layout so much and they actually requested a video. I am gonna talk about hotbar keybinds and the hotbar layout and why it is actually super important to have a good hotbar in order to become a better player, in my opinion. Being a better player starts with having a good hotbar layout, if you ask me, right? Because it needs to be clean, it needs to be neatly arranged, it needs to have an idea behind it. It shouldn't be just random keys put wherever and then go ahead with that for the rest of your life. No. Sometimes you need to adjust your hotbar and sometimes you need to get used to a new hotbar. The best way to get used to a new hotbar is to go hit a dummy. Go hit it for a few hours and you will be used to it. Don't worry about it. This guide will only cover though PC hotbars. I don't play on console, I don't play on controller, so this is gonna be for keyboard and mouse, right? So let's start off with keybinds, right? Keybinds are something everyone uses personally and everyone has different ones. I'm just gonna go over my keybinds and why I think they're pretty good and why it is such a comfortable setup for myself, right? It doesn't mean your setup is bad or it is worse than mine. I'm just gonna explain why I think mine is really good and why you should consider getting a similar one, right? Because I've heard people playing on numpad and I'm like, wow, how? Alright, so let's get into it, right? So I start off with using the really normal 1 to 5 keys, which are really easy to reach, right? The most important thing about your keys is that you can reach them without moving your hand. Your left hand should always be on the same place and only your fingers moving, right? This is why I only go up to 5. I could go up to 6, yes, but I rather keep my middle line in my hotbars empty, as you might see, right? My middle hotbar is empty to make a clear cut in my hotbar to distinguish in between the 1 to 5 users and the QERTF, which are my other keybinds, right? So as I just said, I use 1 to 5. If your hands are really big, you can go up to whatever 8, 9, 0. You can use all of them. If you're able to reach them without moving your hand and without like stretching it completely or getting like that your hand hurts, you can go up to whatever button you can use, right? Like I said, I'll go up to 5 and that's about it. My other buttons I use are Q, E, R, T, F, G because I think all of these buttons are very easily to press. I replaced some other keybinds, right, by using those, but that doesn't matter for me personally. I do believe those buttons are really easy to reach with your hand, and I think they're a good choice if you're looking for other keybinds, right? So 1 to 5 and Q, E, R, T, F, G. Then I have modifiers, which are Alt and Control. Now the thing is, I don't press Alt and Control with my left hand like you usually would. I don't at all. What I do is I have my mouse button, which has 2 buttons on the left side and 2 buttons on the right side, which is a Razer Lance hat. I'm not promoting it, I'm just saying what it is. Basically, I use the 2 left side mouse buttons as Alt and Control. So basically, to press Alt plus 1, I hold one of my left mouse buttons and I press 1. That's how my Alt 1 works then, right? Which is Wildfire in this hotbar. The same goes for Control. It's just the button below, right? Very, very simple setup in my eyes. I really am a big fan of my own setup. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's very simple and very straightforward setup. I use a few buttons and I use 2 modifiers. That's it. Now you can also add a 3rd modifier if you have like a different mouse button. If you have like, let's say a mouse button with 6 keys on it, you can use 6 modifiers in total. If you have a MMO mouse, you probably don't even use this layout, but this is just something for people with 2 mouse buttons, because I think most standard mouses have 2 buttons on the left side, and this will work for you. This will definitely work for you, and I think this is a great setup, right? And that's about it for keybinds. Then I want to touch on the philosophy of hotbars and how it should be like and how it should be set up, right? The most important thing is to note that you don't need mounts or similar stuff in a duty, right? You don't need to have mounts on your hotbar in a duty. You can't use them in a duty. A lot of people just have like a setup, like I see so many hotbars with like tons of mounts and other stuff that they use, which is good outside of duties, right? Outside of battle. But inside of battle, you don't need that. Get rid of it. That's why I have 2 hot layouts, right? I have 2. I have number 1, which is this one, which is a really still a very clean setup, but it has like this hotbar here, which allows me to open other hotbars. And then I have my second setup, right? You can also even click duty. Adjust duty speed with hot layout. I think this is like, I think this will switch it automatically. I never used this system actually. I didn't even try it out. But I use 2 hotbars, very simple. And you can see my second hotbar just hides all of that stuff. It just hides it completely. There's none of it there. I focus on the important part. On my hotbar, on my skills. I have up here a few things like to refresh food. Limit break, right? Which could also be on the hotbar, but I decided to put it here because I can still press these with my mouse. Very simple, right? If I have to. And they're very, very... yeah, just not oftenly used, right? That's about it, right? So this is my advice in order to basically have 2 hotbars, or hot layouts rather. And then I have the user macros, which are basically hot layout 1, hot layout 2. So this is hot layout 2. It will go over to hot layout 2. And then here is the hot layout 1, which will go back to the other hot layout. That's it. And now I want to talk about the hot layout itself. Why are the buttons on certain positions? What's the reasoning behind it? Because every hotbar you have, you probably also play more than one job. Should have a philosophy behind them, why you have them there. For example, for me, the bottom first left row is always GCDs. For any job I play, they're always GCDs, right? You can look at all of my hotbars. They are also GCDs. Here are GCDs. There's GCDs. They're always GCDs. No matter what job, they're always GCDs, right? Always. So that's basically the idea behind the bottom left part. Bottom right is usually OGCDs, right? You can also check out other, like here's the mudras, right? Every time. Now here's also OGCDs, right? This is technically a GCD, but a very special one. If for you that don't know Samurai, it doesn't matter. But yeah, the idea behind my hotbars are very simple. They're always similar arranged, right? So my most used buttons are 1 to 5 with my GCDs. They're going to be rolling the whole time. Then I have lots of press buttons, which is reload, quick reload. I press it a lot, right? Quick reload here is pressed really a lot. And E is very simple to reach. Very, very simple for me to reach. So is F and G, which are really easily to reach, right? No modifiers needed, nothing. So F to G are very, very easy to reach. So I have Gauss Rand on it. And then I have the situational OGCDs up here, or rather, let's say lesser used GCDs also here with Wildfire, 1 minute cooldown, Rapid Fire, 1 minute cooldown. Then I also have here Reassemble here, 1 minute cooldown, Ricochet 1 minute, Hypercharge 2 minutes, right? As you can see, this is also very neatly arranged. Why my Heartbreak is here is because I had it set there for an eternity. I just never bothered to change it, to be quite honest. But with Shadowbringers that will disappear, so it will have a slot open for something else. Then we have, here is AoE usually, right? It's Bishop Auditor is here, Stretcher is here, right? On other jobs we have AoE, where you have AoE skills actually. Like here you can see on Samurai, these are AoE skills, I have them here. And then I have also a special cooldown here. But the philosophy remains the same, right? Special cooldowns here, AoE stuff here, shorter cooldowns, longer cooldowns, right? And then at the very top, I usually have mitigation and utility on most jobs, right? Like Palisades, Refresh, Tactician, Head Grage, which will probably become useful in the next expansion, right? And Second Wind, and you can look at every job, right? Besides Ninja now here has also like Hellfrog, you have also situational OGCs. It all depends on how the job is set up a bit, right? And how many buttons you have. But you can see here True North, you can see here Bloodbath, Arm's Length, Shadewalker. It's all at the very top, right? The rune has the same utility, party utility. Alright, this is nice. Personal utility, that's because the rune has different combo with way more buttons. So I have everything here occupied, right? Like all of these are occupied with GCDs besides Life Search. But you can get behind the idea, right? Also, again, the AoE combo here, Doom Spike into Sonic Thrust. The same goes for Red Mage. Then you have also very special buttons here for Holy Flare, only used very rarely. AoE is up here is AoE, right? The idea is always the same, that the buttons are in a certain order, in a certain area at least, right? As you can see. So yeah, that's about it, right? You make sure to have a clean layout. Make sure to have an idea why your buttons are on a certain spot, which is very important. And make sure to learn it. If you want to change your hot layout, but you're afraid of changes, it's not a problem. You can take your time and just go hit a dummy. Like for example, at your house, like this, you just go hit those and you just stand there for an hour doing your rotation. Do your rotation and you'll get used to the new buttons. You don't have to worry about it. I'll guarantee you get used to it, right? And I think that's about it. I think I covered everything possible for a hotbar and why it is important. If you guys have any more questions, of course, feel free to ask me in the comment sections. If you did like the video, make sure to just, you know, press the like button and subscribe. And you can also check me out on Twitch because I actually stream every day. So you can also ask me questions there live or anything else, right? I'll try to do my best to answer them. So thank you guys for tuning in and I'll wish you a great day. Wherever you live, mates. All right, have a good one. See you, boys.